Good morning, Scrappy Peeps. This is Scrappy Kathy, doing still catching up on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And the sketch I'm going to do today is one that I actually watched on the day, which is day 12. So what is that, like 8 days ago? Anyway, Christina did this one, and I loved her idea of cutting the strips and then matting them on. She did it on black. I'm going to use this aqua blue, but she cut the strips out of a single sheet of pattern paper, and I did that too. So let's get started looking at that. First of all, all the papers that I'm using are coming from this paper pad, which is a Fancy Pants pad from 2013 called Swagger. And it's got lots of masculine patterns and colors. And I really especially like the solids. This teal is just really rich. So and there's this sheet of strips, and I've cut one of my accent papers from there. So let's first work on the stripes. What I did here was I cut about 1.5 inches off the top of this sheet of pattern paper, and then I cut it into just random sized strips and glued them down on this paper with a space roughly twice the margin that I have here. So hopefully when I cut that, it will come out somewhat, they'll come out with somewhat even margins. But you know what? It's CALVINBALL time. It's the CALVINBALL time of year. Let me do this first. I'll trim off the edge here. And the good thing about CALVINBALL is that when you, well, this one is just a little bit too much variation for me. What I was going to say is, if you kind of mess up a little bit, you don't have to be quite as precise as you normally are, because if you mess up, you know you're going to have tons of embellishing going on, and you can probably cover up any mistakes. That one, this one still isn't quite how I'd like it to be, but again, I'm not going to overthink it. So I end up with strips that look like that, and I think that'll contrast nicely with my orange background. I actually had planned to do a black background, and I think I'm going with orange instead, and in a minute I'll tell you why. The photos are of my son and grandson dressed as Jake and Alvy from the television series Kingdom, which I had never heard of, nor let alone watched, until COVID lockdown, when you're pretty much willing to stream and watch anything. And this came on, I guess a new season had come out, and it apparently was really popular. It was on a network that I think John and I didn't usually watch. So James recommended it, and we saw part of an episode up on his floor of the house, and so we decided to stream it, and we got hooked and really liked it. So I don't know about you. I think that would look good on black, but I think I'm going to go with orange. I'll save the black for my next layout. The paper's a little bit thinner, but that's okay. It all looks the same when it goes into an album. Okay, so what Christina did, she didn't do, you can see that there are banners in the sketch. And what Christina did was arrange hers just kind of alternating, some low, some high. And overlapping, I think. And she did hers wonky, and I really liked that. So I'm gonna try, see, this border is a little bit wider, but if I overlap this and kind of turn it that way, I've pretty much got it. If I move this over just a little bit, I think I'm good. So I'm gonna kind of do that. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it this way. I'll put this one kind of randomly there. I had it, so I'm probably going to mess it up here. But there, and then I'll overlap this one kind of a different way. Like that. And then let's see. That's going to be about the right thing, and I'll do it like that. I have variety at the top and the bottom, and like I said, there will be CALVINBALL points going on this. So overlapping that, I've got this brown wood grain that's also from that same paper pad, and then I've got this piece that is the same length as this, but I'm kind of snugging it over to the right, whereas this one is snugged over, or I'm snugging this one to the left, whereas this one is snugged to the right. So I'm going to go this way with that one. And now I'm going to, I have a journaling block, and I want to see how I can, I've got the same picture, the same photo, filtered 3 different ways. And I'm going to layer them like that, and then kind of do this one and pop it up. But if I pop it up, I probably want to do that, and then maybe this, and kind of overlap. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this down here, and I'm gonna snug it down to the top line of that chevron pattern. And I didn't do a very good job of that. Okay, there we go. And then this one is gonna go, see, it's this distance from that one, so I'm gonna do the same thing here, maybe. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to put this down here, and I'm going to put it on maybe a double layer of foam, just to give it lots of dimension. That's an odd color of foam. I don't think I've ever had foam that color. It doesn't matter because the foam never shows. Okay, we'll do it that way, and that gives me This is matted, by the way, with a scrap of green paper that did not come from that pad. And then this brownish is from my sheet of vellum that I've been using all week, and I'm just about down to the end of the vellum. This seems like it wants to go maybe right here, but I could do it that way and kind of have some torn paper or something under there. And I'm going to put this on some foam as well. It's not in the sketch. There isn't a journaling block in the sketch. And you could use one of the three, you know, photo spots as a journaling spot for sure. Let me just do that there, and then I can accentuate that with some I'd kind of like to work this Young, Wild, and Free in there. It's a die cut from, I've pulled out 3 boy-themed collections of embellishments here. And this one is from this Bella Boulevard collection. I guess these are all, yeah. I really like this Young, Wild, and Free, but I'm just not sure where to put it. I think maybe on some foam right there, and then I'll layer some embellishments around it. I'm going to have to be careful to kind of keep with, when I do embellishments like this, I'm going to kind of keep within the color scheme. And this has the green that you see in there somewhere, and the blue that works with it. So that's another reason I like this. This could actually be a nice title. Let's do it here, and it becomes a, no, that's not a title. My title's going to be Kingdom. And I'm going to layer it, I think, on top of there. It's black. Let me get this glued down there. Okay, I've got this here, so maybe this should go here. And then we'll worry about that. I also wanted to put in, because we're talking kingdom, I wanted to use this little square that says King of the World. And none of this so far is particularly meaningful in terms of CALVINBALL points. Let me... It's going to look a little bit out of place right now. I'm going to bring this down a bit because I don't want to cover any of Barrett's face. It's such a cute face. Let me do that. And where on earth, again, I'm going to be layering things, you know, goofy things like this piece of doily around this so it won't look so kind of off on its own. There are some stars here that, and there are Calvin Ball points for stars, and I like that they're kind of this charcoaly, grayish, black kind of look, which kind of goes with the colors here. And I like this. I need a banner for a point, so I like this kind of strip of denim stars. Let's see, where might I want these to go? I might just kind of do it right there. I wouldn't need those stars with this banner because that gives me the stars there. I want to use this little phrase sticker that says "out of control" and kind of put it overlapping. Let's put it here. And I want to do the bomb here. It's kind of overlapping there. Okay, and out of this one, what I think I'm going to do, and we'll see how well this works. I'm going to fussy cut. You see, I already pulled the stickers out that said "dude" in black. So now I'm going to fussy cut the outline of the stickers and see if I can use that on the page. And again, my robin is back outside the door, throwing himself at, or outside the window on the deck, throwing himself at the window. Crazy birds. You'd think they'd been in COVID lockdown. Let's see how this works. Got to leave a white border on here so that you can see what the word, what it spells. And it's going to be cut a little bit unevenly, and that's somewhat by design. I think stressing out to try to get an absolutely perfectly even white border around anything that you're fussy cutting or is, to me, more frustrating than it's worth. So sometimes I like to exaggerate the differences and do some really wide and some really narrow so that it kind of looks intentional. And in a way, it is. So it's not entirely untruthful. Okay, so now we'll go here. And I'm going to pull this up from the sheet now. And it leaves us with this. That says "dude," and the paper underneath shows through. So it's an interesting kind of technique. And I like doing that. I don't always save. I don't always remember to save my sticker sheets. I get so excited when I finish one. I kind of like this LOL, and I want to put it maybe right here. Okay. Now, I have a rub-on, and I need a rub-on points. So I'm going to try to see. I like this orange arrow. Now, I have an arrow here, and these kind of count as arrows. I don't really need the arrow point, per se. but this is a good small rub-on that that happens to be in the right, have the right color. I could have used the star or a phrase or anything from here. This is also Fancy Pants from a 2010 collection called To the Moon. Okay, let me put these. I'm going to do another masculine type page for my next layout, so I'm kind of leaving these things on the table. Now I'm going to apply the rub-on, and then I'm going to stop the camera. Well, I'm going to put the title on. I'll stop the camera, and then I'll do the Calvin ball points off camera. And part of the reason for that is that I haven't looked up the rules today yet, and you know, filled out my sheet, added the new rules to the sheet. Let's see where we want this. Maybe here. And I'm overlapping a photo. Oh my goodness. These must be a little too old. But you know what? It works as a rub-on, even though it's only a partial of the image, and it works as an arrow, and I can add embellishments around that. Some of the embellishments I may use. I need this cut file, and that works right there. Let me put a few things on just to kind of give you a flavor of where I'm going. And remember, I'm kind of using for this, particularly this time where I'm kind of playing catch up, I'm kind of trying to use a lot of things that are already on my table, and not do a lot of running around looking for specific supplies. I'll kind of have in mind a couple pages that I want to work on, and I'll have the photos printed for those, and then I'll grab some supplies that, without having a complete solid idea of what I'm going to be doing with them. And then I kind of work with what I had going on for the last couple of layouts and the new things that I pulled. I've just put this little heart. I need the color pink, and it's kind of it's not a Pepto-Bismol pink or anything too specifically feminine, so I'm gonna kind of go with it. I need a label, and I need a tag, and I have a part. Oh gosh, it's not cooperating with me here. I have a partial. You know what? I like this gray one better. And I'm going to cut it and punch a hole. Actually, I'm not going to punch a hole. I will find my ribbon. Here's some ribbon. And I'll staple the ribbon on. And a label becomes a tag, and I get the, what did I do with my stapler? I actually put it away where it belongs, go figure. Now I have staples already. I'm going to get staple point, one staple point. Let's see. I'm going to maybe do that so that it somewhat overlaps that. And that works for me. You can kind of see how it's beginning to shape up. Let me get the title on. I've got this. Okay. That's not sticking because there's no adhesive on it. I'm probably going to embellish this one a little bit differently from some of the other Calvin Ball pages, because I really don't want to throw a lot of whimsical stuff that's outside this color scheme. So I'm kind of limiting myself somewhat to the color scheme. I did notice when I glanced at the rules that you get a point for a sunshine or a sun or moon, I guess. And I have these sunshines, perspectives by Bramble Fox. And here I go. I was just saying I'm not going to go off the color scheme, but when I put this down on the orange, I think it will, it kind of isn't too far outside the color scheme. It's kind of adjacent to it. It's one of the components of it, so I'm gonna give myself permission to use it. You also get a point for a rainbow and for a cloud. So I'm going to add a cloud over here. I think there's enough glue on there. And I saw somewhere my page of rainbows that I'm cutting from. And I have one that has the gold and kind of an orangey coral. Actually, I wish this were turned the other way. Let me do this one. It's not too far off the color scheme of the page, and it isn't like bright primaries or anything like that, and there's no wild departure from that. So let me get the rainbow kind of inserted through there. It's got a nice green that kind of reflects the green in that ribbon, and that green in that ribbon is different from the green that's in the color scheme, but again, it's not too far off. It's not a Kelly green, which would kind of look a little bit out of place. Let me get these labels back in and see if there's anything else. The avocado will probably make an appearance. I think I have a really, really, really tiny sliver of an avocado. Here we go. There. And I've got a rub-on. Oh, I've already done the rub-on, so I don't need a rub-on. I have some washi tape. Let's see if I have a washi tape that... okay. This washi tape is black, and it says things to remember. And that's a legitimate sentiment. I'd say that it was probably right around, I want to say October, that we were watching We were watching Kingdom. And that may have been one of the last streaming shows before that we watched before he kind of took a turn for the worse, let's say, in early November. So by the time these shirts came in, John was still kind of aware, but you know, the decline had begun. Okay, I need something around in here, and I need chipboard. I said I wasn't gonna do this, huh? But I'm enjoying it. I need chipboard and I need ombre, and I've got this, and I need a flower. So I'm gonna. This is a chipboard ombre flower, and I'm going to put it. I'm gonna layer it right up under that King of the World, and it's chipboard, so it needs liquid glue. I haven't done any stamping. I may go look for a different stamp from the ones I have. Let me add another piece of foam here. So I'm going to put the title on next, and then I'll find something to put there. Maybe a squirrel. What do you say? I don't know. I need a much smaller squirrel, I think, than what I have. I will not be using there's a little fox, I think, is acceptable instead of a squirrel. And this one is orange, so it kind of works. And you get a point for orange, white, and green together. And he's orange and white. And if I put something green somewhere, that works because, you know, these guys are foxy, right? Let me get is there something green that I need for another reason? Let's see. Is there anything here? Study hard, play hard. I'm going to cut the play hard part off. And again, I'm introducing a different green. I'm going to kind of do that. And there's the orange and white and green together. So that's I'm going to claim that point. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this as soon as I get the title on. I'm using these Bella Boulevard Wonky Alpha stickers. I'm running low on most colors of these. Here. And I'm kind of alternating the heights, sort of like I did with these guys. And I don't have any O's, but I can cut the little tail off a Q. Okay, there we go. And then this kind of tells me that I need to fill this space right here with something. So there'll be something inserted under there. So that's kind of the beginnings of it. That satisfies the sketch part, and I'll finish up the Calvin ball off camera. Thank you for watching. I think it's fairly close to the original. There will be probably a cluster down here, and I'll probably fill out this cluster. I will be using, Nuvo drops and sequins and a lot of smaller things, and I probably will hunt down I think I have a paper collection that has some small shamrocks, and hopefully in a color green that works with all the other colors of green that I have going on in here. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next sketch. Bye.